Chile and Germany were always likely to be in the driving seat and heading through to the semi-finals, and they're firmly in control, but they play this evening live here on ITV4. And there's a good chance that that game might even be more thrilling than the last one. Do they look like the champions of Africa and Asia, respectively?
Well, they are. So
did they look like them?
Did they look like them? Well, I think Australia are definitely not playing as well as they were playing in 2015 when they won the Asian Championship. It was at home, so very different. They haven't progressed as well as we'd hoped they would have at this stage. They were disappointing, I thought, today again, and they were lucky not to lose the game. You know, Cameroon was more through the fact that Cameroon couldn't take their chances.
It tells you where the quality is, where the level is. You know, obviously, there's still a lot to catch up for the African nations to become really a force. You know, at least they had a go in the second half. But with good strikers, who know what they are doing, they would have scored 2 or 3 goals.
Well, wasn't through lack of movement, was it? Because
no.
Boubacar his movement was great.
No, the movement, I can't fault his movement, but the final technique to score a goal, to stay calm, and to execute, you know, the cross, it was not. Looks and pulls it back.
What's he aiming for there? The centre or inside the post?
I hope for the goal, but he totally misses it. And this one is just an easy connection, just an easy connection you have to have and towards the goal, and he totally misses it. This is his bread and butter. Header. That is where he is very good at heading the ball. You need to head it towards the goal, that the goalkeeper can make at least a save. He could have had a hat-trick. He could have had easily a hat-trick today, you know. And
you can just picture there'll be quite a few Premier League managers watching this game on a Thursday afternoon in June, possibly on the holidays, but watching it, and he's been linked with Newcastle. When they see all those misses this afternoon, he hasn't exactly done his chances any good, has he?
Well, on one side of things, no, but like I mentioned, the movement, I think, I don't know, it depends. Jimmy's the manager.
Could you work on the finishing? You wanted it the other way around. You wanted his movement being poor and the finishing being good, because you can work really on the movement. You can't really work on the final. You can, but that is harder, you know, if that makes sense. He's got brilliant movement. He knows where to be. But opening his body, he's poor at that.
Well, let's have a look at the penalty incident, because a little tricky at first to see the various angles that we were given, and it was referred upstairs, and eventually...
Gersbach does really well. I mean, he just waits. He's patient. He sees no opportunity to play the ball inside, and he takes the ball out down the line, and he doesn't have to do anything. Because, you know, the Cameroon defender, Mabuka, just dives in recklessly.
I don't know what the hell he's thinking. What is he doing there? Stay on your feet. He's going nowhere. Yeah. He's going nowhere.
It's crazy. I mean, it's just a crazy, crazy challenge.
Yeah, and so even though he did touch the ball, he had to go through the player first, which is why it was given. But Gersbach was impressive throughout, wasn't he? A 20-year-old, plays his football in Norway.
At Rosenbach, I really like him. Well taken penalty from the captain. But Gersbach, really energy, you know, down the left. Put in a lot of good crosses. Very positive. Young boy. Got a bright future.
And he was rewarded for his positivity down the left.
Well, where we thought probably most of the attack would come on the right-hand side from Lecky, it was actually the other side in Gersbach. And you know, I think he did really well in a game, coming into such an important game for Australia.
Australia missed Brett Jones today, and he has filled his spot. He's filled his spot. He's made it difficult now for the manager to pick somebody. And
you mean Brad Smith? Yeah.
Brad Smith. Yes.
Brad Smith, definitely. Yeah. No, he did. I mean, Brad Smith's got a lot of energy, a lot of pace. He's got the experience in the Premier League. Yeah. But Gersbach, you know, I think he's got.
Ultimately, it wasn't enough for them, but he dispatched it pretty well. Mark Milligan.
Millsy, a positive display tonight, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to give you all 3 points. Did you feel you deserved more out of the match?
Yeah, look, I think we dominated large parts. Obviously, small lapse in concentration right at the back end of that half. cost us today. You know, that's again, I think that's a group sort of thing that time's so crucial, so close to the half. But I thought overall our performance was a much more complete performance than the first game.
Defensively, the team also looked a lot more composed, but Cameroon, they did cause you some headaches in transition.
Yeah, well, they're outstanding in transition. They're extremely fast. You know, they caused Chile problems in transition as well, and I think they will do the same against Germany. So look, they're a good side. Everybody at this competition is a good side. That's why you can't afford to give them little sniffs like we did.
Australia's tournament hopes are still very much alive. I'd imagine that you'll be watching the Chile-Germany game with interest. Yeah, absolutely, and we'll look at our game again, and we'll take the positives from it, and we'll aim to beat Chile on Sunday. Well done today. Cheers, Millsy. Thanks.
Complete performance from Australia. That raised a few eyebrows in the studio here. Well, after the break, we'll be looking...
Fourth goal, and it's taken him less than 8 minutes to open the scoring in Moscow.
Rojas, now Thomas, Reyes, it'll come through for Chris Ward, 1-0 New Zealand, delight for the Kiwis, and might this be the first upset of this Confederations Cup? He's on the charge again, Aquino, Fabian. For Jimenez, it's a fine finish by Raul Jimenez. Mexico back on level terms. Here goes Diego Reyes. Aquino on this left touchline once again, now driving at Ingham. Getting past Ingham. There's the cutback, and there is the goal, which puts Mexico 2-1 in front. Swept in by Uribe Peralta. Box all, and it's becoming very ugly indeed. It is all 4 officials on the pitch trying to sort things out. There have been arms flaming everywhere there. It looks as though here Bakary Gassama is going to come to this near side to review the footage himself.
And you see it here, this challenge here, watch Boxall what he does now. I mean, that's a nasty tackle. Goes right over the ball. Then Jimenez is in. There's lots to going on, but there.
Absolutely. This surely is where we should be listening to the conversation being had between all these officials.
Yeah, correct.
So a yellow card's been shown. Is that the extent of it? I can't believe it.
Well, you better believe it. There were a couple of cards shown and all that. It was fun and games, wasn't it? That was yesterday. We're hoping for some more fun and games, by the way, this evening when Chile played Germany, the 2 favourites, obviously, for this group, for obvious reasons. Let's have a little look at the starting lineup. Starting with Germany, a vastly less experienced Germany lineup than Chile, it has to be said. 153 caps in total. You can see there next to them, that's the number of caps that each player has, bearing in mind that some of the more experienced players have been left at home on purpose so the Germans can plan ahead for next year's World Cup. Ter Stegen, no surprise that he's back in goal in place of Leno, Mark?
Absolutely not. I mean, I don't think we've seen a goalkeeper make as many mistakes as Leno did in the last game, so I was surprised that Ter Stegen didn't play the first game. Yeah,
he didn't do himself any favours, did he, there tonight as well. Let's have a look at the Chile team. We do have Alexis Sanchez starting. Remember, he was picked up an injury to his ankle in training, so only came off the bench. Made a big difference when he did, setting up both of their goals. He's up against Mustafi, his Arsenal teammate. But look, 810 caps for this Chile side. Now, against most other sides, you say that would be vastly the favourites, but this is Germany they're playing.
Not against Germany. They've got lots of quality, Germany, but Chile as well, and they have kept their team for a long spell together. It's going to be an interesting game with 2 teams who play really attacking football.
What's going to be the key to this game, do you reckon?
Well, I think the experience is going to play a massive part. I mean, you saw Germany in the second half against Australia. I thought they really sort of dropped off the pace, allowed Australia back in the game. They can't afford to do that against Chile. And I actually say that Chile's favourite in this game.
2 different styles, you know, very interesting today.
Very interesting. Well, you're going to have to watch it on the telly because you're clearing off now. We've got Lee and Glenn coming in. But thanks so much for your efforts this afternoon. Tomorrow sees more action from Royal Ascot. The opening show will mark your card at at 10 a.m. on ITV4, while the racing coverage commences at 1:30 on ITV. Don't forget to join Lee Dixon, Glenn Hoddle and myself very shortly for Germany against Chile here on ITV4. We can't wait for that. Put the kettle on. We're going to be back in about 15 minutes or so for the Confederations Cup group match this afternoon.